Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Real Hawks Talk podcast. My name is Kyle or VTech, which whatever you want to call me. I'm good with whatever. We are looking over the March 30th game. I'm a little late on this one because the game was so late. I just got tired and I had events leading up to it for me not being a long day as it is. But Chicago travels to LA to face the Kings. The Hawks are at this point 7 points back from Colorado prior to the game and trying to gain ground on that second wild card spot. And this is it's a must-win game. I mean, all these games are must-wins. If they don't come out with 2 points every game, they're mostly done. LA is out of the playoff race. They are fighting for dead last with Ottawa for last place there. Chicago is 2-3-1 in past 6 games. LA lost 2 straight after their 3-game winning streak. They went 0-1-1. The players to watch in this game were Jonathan Toews with 76 points, 33 goals, 43 assists, one shy of his NHL career points. Dustin Byfuglien, 9 points, 4 goals, 5 assists in past 7 games. The goalie matchup here was Corey Crawford versus Jack Campbell. Corey Crawford, 36 games played, 14 wins, 18 losses, 3 overtime losses, a save percentage of .908, goals against 2.94. Jack Campbell, 27 games played, 8 wins, 13 losses, 1 overtime loss, a save percentage of 9.25 and a goals against average of 2.32. Going into the first period, right off the bat, Hawks are on the penalty kill. Krug gets a hooking on Grundstrom at 11:25 into the game. The first half, the power play looked perfect. I know Jonathan Toews had the puck for a little bit. He was roaming around, had a couple opportunities shorthanded. But then that second half, that power play was just, Crawford had to make some good saves to keep them in it. A little bit after that, at 15:49, a penalty on Clifford slashing on Kajula. The power play yet again being ice cold as normal, can't get anything going. I like to see, I didn't know Kajula was in the game. I didn't get home enough time to watch the pregame. I just got there right before the game started, and I had no idea that he was playing just because of circumstances and personal life. But anyways, he comes off from concussion. He had a couple big hits. On him, but he was playing like he never missed. So he's looking really good. I'm glad to see him back in the lineup. And then at 18:06, Brent Seabrook again with a tripping call on Toffoli. This was towards the end. The Hawks will have to kill off a power play going in the second period. But it was another good period for defense, and the goaltenders not giving up anything in the first period. Crawford had to make some great saves. He's playing top level focused in. Even though he gave up 3 goals in this game, I still think that he is playing top notch. Like, he's still in his prime. Some people may argue that. I mean, his numbers little dropping here and there, but do you blame that on him? We'll get into more discussion after the game on that. Shots are looking good. I think that the Hawks were having a tough time getting into front of the net or into the zone on LA because they're known for a hitting team, and that they laid the body out really good. Campbell was playing very good as a goalie too. I mean, he had to face some great A opportunities that he stopped. I know there was one. It was I don't quite remember, but it was off the crossbar. I mean, it was a perfect shot, and it beat Corey Crawford. And I mean, when you're going through this game, the goals that LA that scored, they were on a dime. They were just perfect. I know they hit two of the goals that went in, hit off the post or the crossbar and in. So I mean, I don't know, watching the game, I mean, they were just perfect shots, and you can't. It's hard to blame the defense or the goaltender for that. I mean, with perfect shots, they're perfect shots. It's not like it was anything that was kind of a soft goal. I mean, all these shots were hard. They were hit pretty hard towards Crawford. But, like I said, there was momentum. The Hawks had momentum. I mean, it was a Hawks game, and I think it was a lackluster of defense. Not so much just mental mistakes that ended up costing them. But in the first period, no goals, none of that. Shots on goal, Chicago had 9. Faceoff percentage was at 50%. Power play 0 for 1. Penalty minutes 4. Hits 5. Block shots 1. Giveaways 2. 1 takeaway. LA had 14 shots on goal. 50% in the faceoff dot. 0 for 2 on power plays. 2 penalty minutes. 7 hits. 2 block shots. 4 giveaways. And 1 takeaway. So the Hawks kill off the penalty. 5 seconds left. Just a little bit after that, I totally forgot to write down the time on that one. My bad. DeBrincat scores his 41st of the year, assisted by Kane at his 64th assist of the year, and then Nisimov at 22, his 22nd assist of the year. DeBrincat actually went to go pass the puck across the goalie mouth, and it ended up coming off of Campbell's pads and back to DeBrincat, and he just kind of pushed it in. So that was a good way to start off the period. I mean, it was just right after the penalty kill, so I think it was in like the 19, about a minute in. And then at 2 minutes in, at 25 seconds, Lewis gets a hooking on Cahoon. There still power play failed again, and it shows when we go through all the statistics here, how even strength, I would say, with, it brings you back to the good old days of when you would see LA in the Western Conference Finals, and it was just kind of a back and forth. Who was going to win this year? Was it going to be the heavy hitting team, or was it going to be the quick, fast team? And it was like that battle again. It was like bringing you back to a little bit of the playoffs, just a different, some different players. Mostly for the Hawks, not so much for the Kings. They had a statistic that was like the Hawks had like five people on their team that have won a cup, and LA has 15. So I mean, I'm just saying it kind of felt like that environment again. I know Strome had a good look, but he decided to try and pass the puck to DeBrincat, and it kind of got deflected, wasn't in his wheelhouse, and he couldn't put it back in the net. I see a lot of, at this point, when you're fighting for a playoff position, everyone has to be selfish. There can't be it's okay. I'll just pass this puck over, and it's not going to be an issue. But no, I don't see a lot of selfishness. There needs to be a little bit more of that, more people shooting towards the puck in the net, trying to get those cheese goals, all the rest of the other stuff. But then at 9 minutes and 16 seconds, penalty on Carter slashing on Kane. Power play yet again, can't do it. So we're getting, I guess it really wasn't right off of the power play, but I thought it was. I might have mistaken that. But I have here written down at 16:05. It was basically a turnover from so there was a turnover in the offensive zone, and Wagner ends up scoring his 12th of the year, assisted by Carter, his 20th, and Roy of his 3rd assist of the year. But going back to, it was a turnover, and I think Dahlstrom was on the end of his shift, and he was kind of tired, but also there was 3 Hawks back. And Wagner basically blows by Dahlstrom. Dahlstrom doesn't dive, doesn't do anything to try and save it. The 2 guys that were trailing just kind of let Wagner fly across in front of Crawford there. And this was bar down. I mean, yes, Crawford was down. but he was close enough in to where you had to protect that area of the ice because you know how Crawford is. He's a butterfly goalie, and his objective is to stop anything from going below the net, or at least under him. Most of the goals that happen are over his shoulder or over his glove. That's just the way type of goalie he is. He's always down, stopping that kind of stuff. But it was just a perfect shot over, I believe it would be over the blocker side, bar down. It was just a perfect shot that I don't think Crawford could have, done anything after that. But I mean, it was just, it was just a disappointing second period, because the reason I say that is because the Hawks defense was playing so well in the second period. I not as much as they were in the third. We'll get into the third there, but the second, they were really holding. The offense was going, and it was just a mental lapse, or someone gets caught tired and someone has wheels and he just puts in the back of the net. It's one of those things that happen. But I think what's happening in this game, at least, was the Hawks come out fast, quick, and all this, and then LA just hammering away at them, just making hits after hits after hits after hits. And it's not, there wasn't a lot of hits. It's not like, what game was it? It was Arizona, or I want to say it was Arizona, where they had like 20-something hits in the first period, in one period. They were heavy, meaningful, hard shots, that were meant to, send a message, not these little blooper hits that they marked down as hits. No, they were heavy, hard-hitting hits. I mean, you would see Hawks players laying around anywhere near the puck. I mean, I know Kajula got laid out a couple times. I think that ended up wearing on them. Not going for the puck as much, and that's with it's with a young team. You're gonna see that because they're not used to that heavy hitting all the time. And yes, you're in the NHL, but this is, I would say, that out of the games I've watched this year, LA has been the heaviest team in hitting. Maybe besides Boston. Boston had some good hits, but it wasn't anything, like this was just, they were heavy hits that were sending a message, basically. That's what this was. Not saying they're sending a message for any certain reason, just saying, hey, we're going to hit you and you're going to like it or not. So I think that kind of led into them wearing down a little bit. But then in the second period, the shots on goal were 14 for Chicago, 6 for LA. Chicago was 52.9 in the faceoff dot, 0 for 3 on the power play. 4 minutes in penalties, 8 hits, 1 block shots, 3 giveaways, 2 takeaways. LA had 47.1 in the faceoff dot, 0 for 2 on the power play, 6 penalty minutes, 15 hits, 5 block shots, 9 giveaways, and 3 takeaways. I want to look at that giveaways real quick. Normally the Hawks are pretty high in there in the giveaways. They do end up giving that up a lot, but the passing was very good. Recently, I would say in recent times, recent games, but I don't really understand that statistic as much, the giveaways, because there's a lot. I wish it would be just turnovers to see, instead of takeaways and giveaways. I think it should just be turnovers if you force a turnover, because I think that's a better description than a giveaway, because sometimes giveaways aren't really giveaways, and then sometimes they give giveaway, or sometimes they don't give a giveaway and it should be a giveaway. But I think it should just change into turnovers as a whole, because that way, I mean, yes, it credits, the takeaways. I kind of get the takeaways, but the giveaways, I think it should just be a turnover. And I maybe you guys could help me understand that a little better. I may have to look that up, but that's one of those stats that kind of like, I don't know why they have it, or how they describe one as a giveaway, because I think the Hawks should have had a little bit more than 3 giveaways. I mean, it was just kind of hard because in my eyes, what I saw some turnovers, especially that turnover that led to that goal. It was just a misplay, mispass. It goes the other way with it. Going to the third period, Gustafson scores his 17th, assisted by Keith and Kruger. Keith gets his 32nd assist of the year, and Kruger gets his 8th. This was at 3:09 into the third period, and it was a beautiful face-off win in the it would be the right dots to the it kind of, if you're looking at Campbell, it would have been that top. If you're looking from the TV perspective, it was that top right corner there. But he wins it back, and Keith passes over to Gustafson for the one-timer, and he puts that thing right in. I mean, it was a one-timer, beautiful goal. And when I was watching the game, I was thinking, you know what? Gustafson's that one guy. Yes, he has 17 goals. I get that. But he's that one guy that scores key goals in key situations. And you have the Kane, the DeBrincat, the Taves, who can just score goals naturally. That's just how they are. They can just score goals. But he's one of those that they score in key situations, and I think that's what we're lacking from this year, is those key situation goals. Not so much the goal scoring, but the key situation goals. The power play is lacking on that because Kane and DeBrincat are cold on the power play. And I'll get a little bit more into Kane. I mean, when you look at his statistics and stuff, it's not like he's not producing. I just don't see the magic there. And I'll get in a little bit of that later. But then just time's winding down. I mean, it's all Hawks, all period. And this was their game to lose. And what ends up happening is, I believe Wagner no, my bad. That was earlier, because Wagner did a similar thing like he did in the second period, and Corey Crawford poke checks, and he learned from his mistakes, and that was something that was nice to see, is someone learning from their mistakes. And Crawford does a pretty good job at that sometimes, I would say. But then, so LA would start bringing in their defensemen, cycling them into play, more offensively, and Crawford poke checks a puck, and there's no one there to stop the shot from I think it's Amendola. He gets his 5th, Clifford gets his 8th assist of the year, and Lewis gets his 9th. That was at 15:45 into the third period. And I mean, it was all the momentum was there. I mean, the shots started coming back a little bit, just because it was a push towards the end. But the defense was playing well enough in order to, not really let anything happen like that. It was one of those another perfect shots that just went in. And can you blame Crawford? Maybe, but I just don't think he was trying to make a play, and there was no one there to help him out, and he's left out to hung and dry, and now everyone can look at him and goes, well, there he goes again, blowing a game. And I don't see that. I don't see him. That was the reason he blew that game at all. I mean, you have plenty of opportunities. You outshoot them 10-6, I believe, in the third period. It was like 10-2 with like 6 minutes left. And just LA kind of turned it around because it kind of gained some momentum off that goal. But then going to the third period stats here, Hawks were 45.5% in the faceoff dot, 0 for 3 on the power play, 4 penalty minutes, 12 hits, 11 block shots, 4 giveaways, 2 takeaways. LA was 54.5 on the faceoff dot, 0 for 2 on the power play, 6 penalty minutes, 21 hits, 11 block shots, 14 giveaways, and 5 takeaways. And that giveaway, I mean, they did give the puck away a couple. Their passing wasn't quite there, I don't think. But the offense, it's the offense. But I'm gonna get in that. I'll get in that discussion in a little bit. But going into overtime, like 30 seconds left. I think Taves was a little tired. I even think Kopitar was a little tired at this point, but Taves just straight up holds Kopitar, and he gets a holding call in 30 seconds. And just I would say about 15 seconds later, Drew Doughty scores he scores the overtime winner, his 7th of the year. Kopitar gets his 36th assists of the year, and Toffoli gets his 20th of the year. Yet again, this leads back to it was Arizona. It leads back to the Arizona game when they get shut out. In a key situation, on a key power play kill or penalty kill, Marcus Kruger fails to get the puck out. And now this time he's on his forehand, not his backhand. The backhand, okay, I give you a little bit to that one, but he's on his forehand here, and he fails to get the puck out all the way down. He gets the puck out, but it doesn't go past center ice because it gets knocked down. And the penalty kill, I mean, it's a 4-on-3. That's kind of hard. A 5-on-4 is a little easier. 4-on-3 is a little difficult, especially with time winding down. And Doughty just hammers this puck. I mean, this was a hard shot that hit off the post and went in. And Crawford, I think he was in good position, and it's one of the. I mean, that was a hard shot. I saw when I was watching the game. I hear him hit the stick. I hear him hit the puck with the stick, and next thing I hear is ting and in. I'm like, where the fuck that thing just go? And that's what happened. That just went in. So it's one of those things that happen, and you come out, you lose 3 games, you get swept by the LA Kings this year. You get 2 points out of 6 points to LA Kings, one of the worst teams in the league, and you're expected to make the playoffs. Sorry, boys, you're done. Your season's over. Now it's officially over. It's done for. You needed these 2 points to stay within 5 points of Colorado, just because they end up slipping, at least in 2 games. They slip in 2 games. You still have a chance now, and then maybe that are third, but you're relying too much. You would also need Minnesota to not screw up either. You're not going to catch Dallas, so you're not going to jump them. You're screwed now. You basically put the nail in the coffin with this loss. But it comes back to, okay, we go to San Jose. We're up by 3 goals, and our defense is crap. But we scored 3 goals. Okay, let's see if we can, gain a little momentum off that, mesh the defense and the offense together. Okay, we scored 2 goals. But we still gave up 3. Why? I don't get. I would want to know an answer to. I want someone to ask either one of the team, one of the players, or ask Jeremy Colleton, why can't they score and play defense? I want to know what in the scheme is causing that to happen. Because every time I hear someone ask an interview, it's like, oh, your defense played well, but your offense, or your offense played really well, but your defense didn't do anything. And they're like, yeah, we're trying to work that together. They need to play in harmony or something. But no one's asking, why is that not working? Why is the offense and the defense not working together? Why can't we produce and limit teams to 2 goals a game, right? This was only 2 times. I mean, the past couple weeks, or at least this week, was the only 2 games where they gave up more than 3 goals, or 3 goals or more in a game. You're coming off of Colorado and the overtime winner, 2-1. You lose to Arizona to 1. They only give up 1 goal. So, like I said, goalies can only play so well some of the time. Some environments are different. Some teams are difficult for them, but I don't know why they can't collab that together. What the issue there is. And you got to start blaming the power play. I understand the coaching staff is young. Jeremy Collinson's young. His other is two. I can't think of their names. My bad for not thinking of their names. But Sheldon Brookbank. Yeah, there we go. Sheldon Brookbank, I believe, is the special teams coach as well, and I think the other guy is a defensive coach. But my point is, we need answers to why they're not producing. Why are you not dumbing down the situations for them just to shoot the puck? All right. If that means you need to split Kane and DeBrincat on two separate lines in the power play, do that. Because it seems like they just want to set each other up and it's not working. You need to put Saad on the number one line with Kane. All right. You need to move to bring it back to the second line, because that gives you at least three more people who are going to fight towards the front of that net, and it's going to leave you that one guy that if he's open, that he's going to take the shot. But that leads you, on that second line you have Cahoon. I know Camp was out during the game to bring it, but there needs to be more production from there, and I think that there needs to be a little bit more production from the defense. Gustafson, I can't complain about his work at all, because he's scoring goals in key situations. But it's the Seabrook, the Keefes. What really hurts us is Murphy's not quite there doing it. Forsley's not quite there doing it. Dahlstrom, he's a whole different project that I'll talk about later in the year. Because I'm gonna end up doing a when the off season comes around, I'll do a weekly podcast on each player and go over their statistics of the year and kind of talk about what I think where their performance was at. Should they improve? I mean, everyone needs to improve, but what's the improvement? What's the downfall doing? We're just one of those things that we'll get into. But I'll just get a little bit more on Kane. Kane is not hitting the net. He's not hitting those shots he was hitting in the beginning of the year, and his goals has completely just cooled off. His assists are still there. His apples, he's giving those apples up out there, but it just he has wide opportunities, and he's just missing his key spots that he's normally hitting. So I don't know if it's just a long year of him playing so many minutes in a game. Because tomorrow I'll be posting out a weekly review, and when I was going over the time on ice average leader, Kane's up there in numbers. I mean, he was second, so I believe with Duncan Keith, but you're giving a forward that much opportunity, he's gonna get tired, and I think he's a little overworked. Because he's just that spark, that speed, that agility is just not there, and we're getting down to the end of the season, and it's starting to show. And that's why people when I watch the games, they're talking about, well, you gotta have Patrick Kane out there more. You gotta get Patrick Kane out there more. You gotta get Patrick Kane out there more. Okay, you get back within the race, you're almost there. Well, guess who's flat out tired? Patrick Kane is. Do we blame him for that? No, because there's only so much someone can do. It's not like a defenseman, all right, who accumulate those numbers. Because let's be real honest here. How often do you see defensemen just really, really flying in and out of the rink, up and down, unless it's like a straight up shootout game? You don't really see that often. Normally, they get the puck to the forwards and let the forwards work in. If they dump the puck in, they either go change or they kind of sit back and wait. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. But that's why those people get those numbers. And I'm not saying that Kane, every time the puck goes to the defense or goes in the defensive zone, he's the first one back. He's not. But he's normally that one that has to put in a lot of the load. And that's just something that needs to be looked at for next year. To really find that happy medium to where you don't blow him completely out of the water with being tired, because he also played in the All-Star game, so he didn't really have much time off at all this year. So that's just something that I think needs to be looked. He just kind of looks tired to me. And if you agree with that, you know, just down in the description or down in the comments, say you agree. If you disagree, if you think there's something different, say you disagree, but give me a reason why you disagree. Because just saying you disagree doesn't really help, an argument or an opinion, I should say. But I believe the shots on goal in the overtime were 3-2, and even in the overtime, the Hawks had, yes, the shots were different, but the Hawks had a key opportunity. Taves and Kane were coming down, and on a 2-on-1, Taves shoot the puck, misses. Then Taves gets the puck back. It's a 2-on-1 again. He passes it over to Kane, and it wasn't in his wheel. I think it was a hot pass that was more in between his legs than anything, and and then next thing you know, it turns around to give up the penalty to score. One of those things. But the game stats here, Chicago had 35 shots on goal, 45.8 in the face-off dot, 0 for 3 on the power play, 6 penalty minutes, 12 hits, 10 block shots, 4 giveaways, 2 takeaways. LA had 29 shots on goal, 54.2 in the face-off dot, 1 for 3 on the power play, 6 penalty minutes, 21 hits, 12 block shots, 14 goals, and 14 giveaways and 6 takeaways. And when you look on paper here, besides the power play, I mean, it's basically all even out. I mean, shots on goal, they're six shot difference. Face-off percentage, okay, it's like a 10%, face-off percentage. The power plays, that's even, except LA cashes in on theirs. Penalty minutes, even. Hits, they're, 9 points off. Block shots are just by 2. Giveaways, that's a big one, 10. So LA gave the puck away 10 more times than the Hawks did. 10 times more, or 10 times, you get what I'm saying, than Chicago did, and yet we couldn't cash in on those opportunities. And that, if you look at that giveaways, I think that giveaway should go all the way down to that shots on goal total. So technically the Hawks should have had 46 shots on goal, as if that's what I'm looking at, right? Or maybe not. I'm maybe looking at that. No, my bad. 49, not 46. 49 shots on goal. They should have had 49 shots on goal. And LA should have had 33 shots on goal. If you just look at those giveaways, just saying that they gave away an opportunity to score is what I'm going to look at that. That's what I'm going to look at that as. So that's something that the Hawks should have done. They should have cashed in more. I really think they need to cash in. They need to find something that's going to work for them. They need to come up with an offensive game plan for next year. Take the preseason, take the offseason to really work on simplifying the game. Because you're young. Yes, you have older players who've won 3 cups with the Hawks, but it's a new team. It's the core is still there, but it's a new outer shell. And the core doesn't work if the outer shell is cracked. Okay? So that's something that needs to be changed. Looking at the goalie stats here, Corey Crawford had 26 saves, 29 shots against for a .897 save percentage with 3 goals against. Jack Campbell had 33 saves, 35 shots against for a .9, I believe that's 4.3, and two goals against. Chicago's individual leaders, Duncan Keith had 25-31 on time of ice. Patrick Kane had 8 shots. Seabrook had 6 hits. Seabrook also had 3 block shots. And Jonathan Taves with 59.1 in the faceoff dot. Now, Camp had 1 faceoff and he won that, but he was out the rest of the game, so I wasn't really going to count that because he didn't play the entirety of the game. But if you think I'm wrong on that one, you go ahead and let me know that should be counted. But is it really going to matter? No. LA's individual stats, time on ice was Forbart at 22-12. Clifford had 4 shots on goal. Granson, Wagner, and Przowski all had 3 hits. Block shots were from Doughty, Forbart, Martinez, and McDermott, and Roy, who I believe all had 3 block shots. And then Amendola was 66.7 in the face-off dot. 3 stars of the game were Drew Doughty at number 1, Patrick Kane at number 2, and Austin Wagner at 3. Hawks now 6 points back. It's gonna be the nail in the coffin. This game is. But we're coming on the last week of the regular season. But the next 3 games are at home against Winnipeg, at home against St. Louis, and at home at Dallas. April 1st, April 3rd, and April 5th. The April 1st and April 5th games are at 7:30, and the April 3rd game is at 7 o'clock. That anyways, it's gonna be difficult. We're really gonna need a miracle. And yes, technically, there's not a saying that, all right, the Hawks are out of it mathematically yet. They're not. No one has clinched that, even the first wild card spot. But I believe Dallas. I think if they win one more game, I believe they will clinch at least a playoff berth. But yet, those 2 are still up for grabs. It's just gonna be a matter of a miracle. I'm just looking for improvement. I'm looking for something to say, you know what, I believe if we can keep most of this team together next year, we have a pretty good shot of at least making the playoffs. And if everyone gets hot at the right moment, we have a good chance of winning the cup. But it's just about coming out in the first half of the year, coming out strong. Everyone's going to go through a cold span unless you're Tampa Bay this year, which I don't think, okay, they've lost a couple games, but like, crap, I don't think they've ever went cold, losing multiple games in a row. But, that's just going to happen. Teams are going to lose games in a row. It's a long season. It's not like football. It's not going to hurt you to lose 3 games in a row once in a while. But when you do it constantly, yes, that's going to hurt you. But then when you start coming back and everyone catching fire, but then you just can't. You sprint the entire season because you're so far behind. You have to sprint. By the time you get to the finish line, you're dead tired. And you can't make it past that. You can't make it in that top half because you're so tired. So they got to come out strong next year. Not so much sprint it, but just kind of, pace themselves in a respective manner, and not get down on not winning games right away. I mean, even at the beginning of the year, they were losing games in overtime. They were going to overtime games. They were just never finishing, and then just somehow just tumbled into they can't win a game or whatever. Then it turned into overtime losses. So there's just a lot of things that went into the year that caused that to happen. But no, that is going to do it for this podcast. I will be coming out tomorrow with a weekly stat podcast, talking about what everyone did over the week, kind of get into more in depth in that aspect of it. So if you enjoy the podcast, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Also share with your friends who are Hawks fans, or if anyone is interested in it, be sure to share that with them. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, rest of your evening, whenever you're watching this, and hopefully catch you in the next podcast.